We believe that for every disabled member that comes into the association, there should be one helper to work and focus with that individual. It's really and truly about looking beyond the disability of the person and engaging the individual first and foremost as a human being, as a person. CASA was founded back in 1981. It developed out of another organisation that was involved in running pilgrimages to Lourdes, and a large number of us here in the Dublin area felt that there was a bigger need that was there. We would come back to the airport and say goodbye to our disabled members, and we wouldn't see them for another year.
A couple of people on that pilgrimage decided, why should this only be once a year? Or why can't, we get disabled people out more regularly and just do social things and whatever.
And so what we did initially was we set up two groups in the city here. One was based on the north side of the city and one on the south. And by word of mouth, it very quickly grew to capacity, and two groups very quickly became four. And it followed from that then that four became eight.
You get groups of disabled people together, maybe once a month, and we meet out in Clontarf most of the time, Clontarf Castle most of the time, and you'd have mass and you'd have something to eat, and then there'd be a band or something like. It's just basically around social activity.
We very quickly realised that we needed to take a little step further, and so we started to look at the idea of developing what we called a break house. So we decided to run a pilot scheme on that first initially, and what we would do there is simply each group would bring a number of us disabled people and volunteers together in what we would class as a break house. It was a simple family home that we would rent and use over a weekend. To support that then, we developed a network of people that would work in and around the house, prepare meals, prepare the house, do the cleaning and the cooking for those that would be in the house over the weekend. And we ran that for probably about 12 months, and we really came to a crossroads there. And we had to, as a voluntary body, and bearing in mind that we were all volunteers, we had to make a decision as to what we would do. And it was an easy decision to make. The decision was to fundraise and buy our own house. So by early 89, we ran our first weekend in the house. And again, very, very quickly, that evolved. The demand simply outstripped the supply. And so we opened a second house.
I'd have two houses, one here in Malahide and one in Swords, where I'd bring in people for, well, maybe 3 nights. But here on holidays, it brings me in for 5 days and 5 nights. And to work on a one-to-one all the time. So we're just going to start with welcoming everyone. So Larry and Eric, you're very, very welcome to the house for these few days. I'm here from the beginning of this house, and that was in 1979. But I would have developed multiple sclerosis some years before that. It has developed. When I came here first, I was walking. So the MS has developed, and at this stage I can do nothing. But I am here now, and I love being here because I feel I'm still a part of everything. I'm with the people who come in.
I started when I was 12 years old, and I've gotten used to my disability now, but back then it was a lot bigger of an obstacle than it is now. And so, it always had to be taken into account that I was disabled. Whereas when I joined CASA, they knew what they were doing. So it was for me basically.
Well, it means an awful lot to disabled people because they love to come here. So the outing they have, that fact that it's their holiday, they love to come because they're brought everywhere. They go bowling and go out shopping and go out for a meal and go swimming. They love all that.
The group as a whole gets to decide what they're going to do for the couple of days, whether they're going shopping or. And I mean, I think this is a very important aspect of it because, as I said, a lot of them don't have that sort of independence. Everything's kind of decided for them. So, to be able to make those sort of decisions for yourself, even if it's only for a couple of days, is a huge thing to somebody who has the same routine day in, day out. The biggest thing about CASA for me was they were the first set of friends I had for myself. In terms of when I joined CASA, everybody knew who I knew, because it was either family or school. So my family knew everybody I knew in school. And when you're disabled, having friends that just see you as you is amazing because you're so used to people just seeing the disability. That if you've got a group of friends that treat you for you when you've had everybody else just treating the disability, then you're going to develop.
Yes, I suppose I first heard about CASA way back in the mid-80s when I met somebody who was working in it, and I'd never heard of it before. And I kept in touch with that girl, but funny how 9 years ago this girl and I met up again, and she had realised we had Darren who has Down syndrome, and she spoke to me on and off about Darren. But I suppose when Darren was about 6 years of age, then she came in contact with me, and she offered us respite for Darren. She asked us would we be interested, and I suppose I was a bit taken aback. I couldn't imagine my 6-year-old leaving my side at all for any length of time. But she asked would we speak with the volunteers or with the staff of CASA, and they came to the house, and they were wonderful. 2 wonderful girls came to the house, and my husband and myself, we sat and we chatted with them, and it sounded like an opportunity that we couldn't let go. So we did let him down to the CASA, which was very local to us, which was handy because we knew we were a phone call. We were 2 minutes away if we needed to go. So we let him, reluctantly I suppose, we let him go to the CASA here in Malahide. And the phone calls were back and forth during the evening, but I soon realised Darren was as happy as anything. He was allocated his bed, and he insisted on choosing his own bed, and he had the run of the house, and he picked his bed, and he had a very good night, and he had a wonderful weekend, and we never looked back, to be honest with you. I suppose we would get respite maybe once every 3 to 4 months, and that respite will be 2 nights stay, perhaps a 3-night stay. But then the interim period we'd get a day trip or a party or a mass, in fact, or some other activity other than an overnighter. So yes, it plays a fairly big part because obviously as soon as we hear we have a respite, whether it's day or weekend, there's a lot of preparation, excitement, and the build up to it. So a week beforehand, and I suppose down a week afterwards, there's the talk of CASA between us all here in the house, not just with Darren. Yeah. Because I suppose any special needs child demands a lot of attention at home, and the siblings do suffer somewhat, as much as you try not to let that happen. So when Darren goes into respite, we plan the weekend, and of course sports activities, whatever we get the chance to, I get the chance to get out and see those, because that's the sort of thing Darren probably wouldn't hold his interest. So it's nice to do those things, or to just maybe go to the cinema and watch a film that maybe it wouldn't hold Darren's attention. So yeah, it's nice to give them the attention for a change. Yeah.
If prospective volunteers could see the difference that they make to disabled people in this group, it's just so amazing. I have never met a volunteer who's thought, oh my God, this is a really bad idea. I wish I hadn't done this. you know, they might go into it thinking, you know, oh, it's nice to help these guys out and everything else, you know, and, you know, I'm doing something to help. But they'll invariably come away and think, wow, that was really cool, and I met some really good people, and it's, you know, it's just really nice being there and whatever. So they will get more out of it than they ever think they will.
I think it was last year Ken and myself went out to a school in Selbridge, and we visited some of the TY students, and Ken spoke for 25 minutes and there wasn't a word out of them. And they were genuinely interested in Ken's life and in Ken's story. And I spoke after Ken actually, and it was very easy for me to speak. I had nothing more to say because in fairness Ken had said it all. And a number of people then came up to the teacher after that and said, look, we want to be involved, we're interested.
I never thought of myself as a good talker, but apparently I am. And they've been asking me over the last couple of years, would I, you know, go and talk to people, and, you know, would I talk in churches and do church cake collections and stuff for them. And then I was away with them this summer, and the head of the group, Penny Murray, just said to me, said, we're going to try and get you on a FOSS course, and so we can pay you for what you do, like, and stuff. So now I'm on permanently, and it's kind of, well, I'm on the FOSS course, but I'm getting paid for what I do and stuff.
It simply gets under your skin, and there's no simpler way of describing it than that. And it's very, very hard to detach yourself from it, and it's always there. If you like, it becomes a part of your life, but a very positive part of your life experience, in fact, and a very positive part of that life experience, and a very enjoyable one, I might add, because it's not all about serious work. There is a genuine fun element to it, and it's about people coming together and just having an enjoyable, positive experience together.
I am really, really passionate about CASA, and to be able to do stuff with them on a regular basis and to be able to make a difference for them is just amazing.
Well, we know that there is another generation of disabled people in Ireland, and it is our intention and our goal to reach them. And we also know from our experience of meeting young people that they're looking for answers beyond what they see, we say, through the television or through the media. And really our challenge is to connect and bring both of those together going forward. There's a member of ours down in Leitrim, and he quotes this beautiful proverb, and I absolutely love it. A lighted candle loses nothing, lighting another candle. And I would like to think that that's the CASA experience. And we are definitely determined to engage that next generation, who are a much better informed generation of volunteers, and who are looking for, if you like, meaning, and who are looking for a cause to support, and who are looking for to bring some belief into their lives and to give some purpose and meaning. And our legacy as, if you like, older volunteers is really to ensure that we hand that legacy and pass that legacy on to those people that are there in the wings waiting for it, and to gear the organisation and to prepare the organisation for that handover. That's our goal.